What's up? You're watching the Zero Fast Returns show. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you subscribe. So the last job I ever had was working at this department store. Like, I fixed stuff for them, like their cash registers, their computer systems. You know, I fixed all their technical stuff for them, kind of like the IT guy. And you know, I was at work one day, and there was a guy there. I'll call him Daryl. Daryl was what you could call a good soldier, right? Daryl always came to work early. Daryl always did a really good job while he was at work. Daryl always stayed late when they needed him to stay late. He's what you call a good soldier, the perfect employee, right? So anyways, Daryl was mad. Usually he's really good tempered. Today he was mad. So I'm like, Daryl, what's wrong, man? What's going on? You all right, buddy? And Daryl proceeds to unload on me about how he got passed up for this promotion to manager, and this other girl who'd only been there for 3 months got the job, right, as manager. He'd been there for 15 years, so it really ate him up and it made him mad. And I listened to him. He went on and on about, you know, how he deserved the job and how he was done wrong and everything. And then I simply asked him, and I said, Daryl, did you ever tell anybody that you wanted to be promoted in 15 years of being here? Did you ever ask anybody? Did you ever let anybody know that you wanted to be a manager? I shouldn't have to. That was the answer. I shouldn't have to. And I was like, dude, the world doesn't work that way. You know that. I don't have to tell you that. He stormed off, you know, content to be the victim, you know. But the lesson there, you guys, is that you have to put it out there. If you want something in this world, I always tell people you have to take it. And what I mean by you have to take it is, you know, you got to own that that's what you want, and then you got to make sure everybody around you knows that's what you want, right? You see, we have this amazing ability to affect the world around us, but that only works if we make sure that everybody knows that's the energy we're putting out. That's the exact thing that we want. We're putting it out there into the world, and everybody knows it, right? Now, if I was a manager and some girl rolled in, and from the time she stepped foot in my office for an interview, she was saying, my goal is to work for this company and to be management. I want to be a manager, right? So then every day she comes in, she works hard, she does a great job, and she's always putting in my ear that she wants to be a manager. What does she have to do to move up? What does she need to do? What extra can she do to move up? She wants a shot at being a manager, right? And I got her on the one end. Then on the other end, I got Daryl, the good soldier over here, who just does his job every day, does a great job, comes in early, doesn't complain. He's a great worker. But then a position for manager opens up. Who do I go for? Of course, I'm going to go for the girl who's been putting it out there that that's what she wants. Of course. Why wouldn't I? There's no reason why I would select someone who hasn't even mentioned that that's something they want. So the first step to getting what you want, I would say personally, is you know, make sure you're putting it out there that that's what you want. It's not enough just to internalize it, right? You got to put it out there for the universe to know, right? That's the only way to get the world to start, you know, bending to your will. It's a beautiful day out here, man. You see that field over there? I used to work right there. There was a hospital that used to sit right there, and I worked there for almost 10 years. I worked there, and it goes back even further than that. I was actually born in that hospital. But what is it now? It's just a field. It's funny. It's got torn down. What a lot of people don't realize is there's a war going on in your mind right now. All right. You see, it's human nature to always want to do better. It's human nature for us to not be satisfied where we're at. You know, if it wasn't human nature for us to not be satisfied with where we're at, for us to not be happy with what we're doing, if that wasn't human nature, we'd still be driving horses and buggies. We weren't satisfied, so we continue to make advancements in all these different areas. It's human nature for us to not be satisfied. On the other end of that, we have a deep deep-seated subconscious will to stay safe, right? So what happens is whenever we get into a comfortable place, whenever we're comfortable, right, our mind fights to keep us there, right? It doesn't matter if that's an unpleasant place for us. It doesn't matter if we're not really happy working at a place or we don't really like where we're currently at. There's a subconscious, deep-rooted will just to keep us where we're at because it feels safe, right? It's instinctual. So these two things are always battling in our minds, no matter what. Now, how do you turn off that part in your mind that just wants to keep you safe, right? And how do you make sure that's not keeping you where you're at? How do you make sure that's not sabotaging you in your efforts to move forward in life and be in a better place? Well, what I found, what I discovered was that tracking things really worked for me. Tracking things, tracking trends. So whatever I'm trying to do to accomplish my goals, right? I'm keeping track of what I'm doing and how far I got, and how much money I'm making, or how close I'm getting to achieving my goal. This is something I kind of became aware of a few years ago when I was doing my taxes. You see, I've been an entrepreneur for a while now, so I have to do my own taxes, and I have to kind of look at my revenue and profit loss statements every year. Actually, I look at them every month. But I see trends. And I'll give you an example of some trends you should look out for, okay? If you notice yourself buying courses and like not achieving any results, and then buying more courses and not achieving any results, you notice yourself quitting like halfway through the course, not even finishing it before you move on to something else. That's a trend. It's your mind trying to keep you in a place. It's a loop. You're in a loop, right? I'll tell you the one I was in. Making a certain amount of money. Like, I would make a certain amount of money and I wouldn't move past it. It was a trend, and I didn't notice it until I was doing my income taxes, right? I was like, it's funny. I can't seem to move past the level of income that I was making at my last job. I'm only making enough money to replace that job. Why can't I move past it? So I kind of started tracking what I was doing, and I started to notice this trend of me letting my foot off the gas. Once I reached a certain amount of income every month, I would let my foot off the gas and I would slack off, right? And I believe that's that part of my brain, that subconscious part of my brain, just trying to keep me in a comfortable place, right? Just trying to keep me in a comfortable place, not moving to the next level, but just sabotaging myself, not wanting me to move on to the next level, just be in this comfortable place, right? It was self-sabotage. But the only reason I saw it was because I was tracking what I was doing. I started looking at the numbers in front of me and kind of started trying to trend, right? So that's the second thing I would tell you. If you want to get what you want, make sure you're kind of tracking what you're doing and seeing what the results are. And if you start to see those repeating patterns, your subconscious could very well be trying to sabotage you and keep you in this comfortable place, whether you like the place or not. The third one is the hardest of all of them, right? The third one, I'll tell another story about me. I noticed that chronically I was undercharging for everything I was doing online. Just undercharging, no matter what. I felt bad if I charged people more than, you know, $7 or $10 for something. I couldn't do it, right? I just felt like they couldn't afford it. That was nonsense. It was a mental block. I came from a certain place. I came from generational poverty, and I felt like that because I came from this kind of place where we viewed money in a certain way, that everyone else in the world viewed money the same way. That's not true, and that was nonsense. So what I will say with the third thing, if you want to get what you want, the third way to go about getting what you want is to really have a good self-awareness of your own self-worth, right? And that is very difficult. It's not easy to figure out what you're worth, right? The fact is, you know, most of us were used to working, you know, hourly wage jobs where our worth was defined by how much we got paid an hour, right? And it's hard, you know, because even though you don't feel like you're worth, you know, $10 an hour, you feel like you're worth more than that. subconsciously, you know, you kind of defined yourself by your job. Subconsciously, your mind has kind of defined your worth by the job that you have. And it's hard to go from that hourly wage mindset to saying, hey, I know how to do something that 95% of the population doesn't know how to do. I'm worth $1,000. I'm worth $100 an hour. I'm worth $300 an hour. I'm worth $20,000 for you to spend time with me and to learn what I do, because I can do something that 95% of the population doesn't know how to do, right? It's hard to realign your self-worth and to put a different value on that. But if you want to get what you want in this world, you're going to have to become very astutely aware of what you're worth, right? And I'm not saying it's easy, but you're going to have to do it. You want to get your dream girl? Make sure you understand the value. Make sure you understand what you come to the table with. No one else is going to see what you're worth if you don't see what you're worth. My wife had me watching this damn RuPaul's Drag Race. How you gonna love if you can't love yourself, how the hell are you gonna love anybody else? That's what she said.
You can't love yourself? How the hell you don't love somebody else? Can I get an amen up in here? Yeah, alright, now let the music play.
So guys, to recap this whole thing, first thing is, make sure you're putting it out there, what you want out of life, what you want out of this world. Make sure you're putting it out there. The universe doesn't know, nor do they care what you want. You're gonna have to put it out there, right? The second thing, make sure you're aware that there's a battle going on in your mind, and you have a deep-rooted will to keep you safe and to keep you exactly where you're at, where you're comfortable, whether you're happy or not. You need to track things that you're doing so that you can spot the loop, and you can fight the loop and break the loop. And then the third thing is, make sure you know the value of yourself. Make sure you know your own self-worth. That's the hardest thing to figure out. That's the hardest thing to accomplish. But I'll give you a hint. Most of us are worth far, far more than we truly think we are. Anyways, that's all I got for today. Hope that's been helpful to you guys. Make sure you smash that like button. Subscribe to my channel. I'll be back with a new one every week. You're watching Zero Faster Turns. Peace.